How's it going, guys? Jack and Lilly Sullivan have now been missing for 92 days, and these are Darin Geddes' words on It's a Crime in Shame on the 20th of June 2025. Part 2, D. I don't think they're on the Shuby reservation, because any band council that takes a risk on this type of thing is too much of a risk for the whole community. I've talked to some natives, not a lot, but I've talked to a few natives, and you can't hide them on a small reservation. You can't hide 2 kids on a small reservation, right? Natives are a very tight-knit group, and yeah, you can't hide 2 kids, especially with the publicity that's been going on here, on a small reservation. If they're on a reservation, which I think they are, it's in the States or it's in Canada. If they're on a reservation, they're on a large reservation where they're easier to hide. And the native community are very tight together. That's why I believe they was given. They tried to get them Indian status 3 or 4 times before they disappeared. So that's what started me off in that direction. So why would they be given Indian status the same day they disappeared? If those kids are in the woods and the cops was saying they really thought they was in the woods, and the second day they was saying they was worried about them surviving, well, why, if those kids was in the woods and they thought they was not going to come out of there, then why would they bother giving them Indian status the same day they got lost in the woods? The only thing I can state is this person is so rock solid, No way, man. 1000%, and I've double checked her with 3, and I said her, I've screwed up on that part. Now I double checked this person with 3 or 4 other sources that had knowledge right from and in my family and their family and in the native community, the whole thing. It broke the door open for me. That opened up everything for me, because I found out more. I was looking for a clue for the name of the person who was either driving the vehicle that picked the kids up at the end of the drive. And I lost the first chance at that with Malaya getting shut down. So anyway, I lost a clue when Malaya's family on the native reservation strongly advised her not to leave the reservation and strongly advised her not to talk to me. So of course she's going to listen to her family. Why risk Meadow? Panic? Her mother Cindy. Now Cindy's going to be dirty at me probably. That her mother and her never got along. They don't get along. Cindy hated Daniel. Daniel hated Cindy. So you've got a mother-in-law, and you guys, I imagine some of you know what that's like. You know, in the family relationship. By the way, Belinda Gray, that woman, God love her. God love her. God love her. Now listen, I can't keep up with this. I'm taking a lot of heat right now just for staying on here this long. All I can say, people, if you believe me, great. I hope we're friendly. If not, too bad. Go get some butt heart south. Because I proved to myself, most importantly, that the kids are alive, and I want the cops to move your goddamn fat asses, you son of a bitches. Get on the goddamn move. It's been 7 weeks. You guys have the resources. If you've got to pull some strings, whatever you've got to do, go find these goddamn kids. And I'm talking about the States too, you know. American cops in on this too. I mean, come on, boys. Jesus Christ, if you can't find these 2 kids, nobody can. Now I'm going to tell you something. I did a lot of travelling in Canada, not so much out of Canada over my life. And if you've ever been through Alberta, down the and around the Borden, just close to the left bridge, and there's some small towns around, and along the prairies there's farm roads. Me and my brother used to go up into Alberta. Now they live permanently in Alberta. Now both of them brothers, we used to go Alberta. We could buy cars cause the bodies was good. We buy cars. Now my brother still does it. He could go down on farm roads. We could go back and forth to the United States with cars, trucks and anything we wanted, right to this day. The Sasquatch Reservation borders in the Ontario is one of the biggest reservations in Canada. It borders Canada. There's a large percent of it in Ontario and a large percent of it in the States. How do you think illegal cigarettes get out of there? Most of the cigarettes come from that reservation and going from the States to Canada by the tractor trailer load. I said I'm not 100% sure. They could be in a farmhouse in Tavermush, outside of Tavermush. They might have been there. They might have got shuffled over there, and they could have been on the reservation in Shubakini, but also don't forget, all natives don't live on the reservations. There's a lot of places they could have got shuffled around to. Sonny asked Darin, was you provided proof of life? Darin, was I provided proof of life? Laughing, ha 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 ha. I was proved proof of life by verifying the facts. It's that they was picked up at the side of the road and taken under Malaya and her friends' control. There's no killers in that bunch of girls. That's a big part of my proof, is verified to me to be a total 1000% truth. Sonny asked Darin, do you see the kids being brought back to the forefront again? Darin, by the time those kids, if they're ever, how do I say this? If they're ever allowed to be introduced to this area again, they will be a lot older and will look a lot different. They will have different names. They will have different identification. They will be, no, they will never come back. Here's, not in that way, not from the same families, not around here, the same families they went away from. I see it now, I'm crazy, because it almost drove me goddamn insane. If I could verify exactly where those kids were, I'd go with Major Crime Unit and I'd go get Jordan Boy, the head guy of Major Crime Unit, and say let's go for a drive, and I'd take him for the kids. But see, they're so far ahead of us now. They're so far of anybody. After 7 weeks they got states on the first day. Malaya never said a word. Now I believe there where the nut has to be cracked. There's where I believe the nut has to be cracked. Malaya and I believe that will happen. I believe Malaya is going to break and she's going to incriminate herself in about 10 different ways. And I believe the Mounties and the Major Crime Unit, I believe they will solve the mystery right through to the end. But what will the result be, I don't know. Malaya might end up doing, if they really want to prosecute her really hard, she will probably end up doing 2 to 10 and be bankrupt the rest of her life if she gets sued for the expenses of one of the biggest searches in Canada. But she can't go bankrupt when it's a criminal or fraud. Then you're not protected of any type of bankruptcy. And don't forget, Daniel's in there too, because Daniel initially lied, right? What seemed like trying to protect Malaya, Daniel initially lied about abduction and about a lot of stuff. I saw Daniel this morning. I impressed the fact on him. He better be shitting bricks, cause Daniel's biggest problem is I still believe Daniel's still under heavy surveillance. He can't move. He can't move without helicopters on him, drones on him, but being followed. I believe they probably have what you call it. I believe they probably have GPS on his vehicles and probably his family's vehicles and probably got one on mine, because everywhere I went in the last week, man, there was undercover cops, marked cars, a blonde girl, I don't know why, I think she was private eye taking pictures of me all the time. And a couple of times I took Daniel for a drive and we tried to go somewhere where he wouldn't be watched. Pretty careful, cause I wanted to have a serious talk with him, right? And this blonde girl kept on turning up, taking pictures of us, and I didn't care about that. I didn't care about me being exposed. They already knew about Daniel, so I don't know what the purpose of that was. Because I'd already told Major Crime I was in this. Don't think I ever lied to Daniel. Don't think I ever lied to Daniel to get through this, to get certain information. I lied to everybody at certain times. I told the truth to certain people at times. Yeah, I lied to them to get out of them what I needed to get out of them, what I needed to find out what happened. I never told him this information. I just told him I'm done. I'm finally done with this. I said I believe the kids are alive, Daniel, and I said as far as me going after you for any relationship problems or any kind of abuse, as far as the relationship between you and Malaya, and that was none of my business. Malaya decided to stay with you. That's over now anyway. I'm not going to spend my life running around to prosecute or try and punish someone, guy or girl. I'm not going to try to punish Malaya or Daniel for any type of abuse or anything like that, or any type of neglect. They're both guilty of neglect. There's another thing, you see, there's going to be a lot of punishment coming down if the authorities decide to do that, because it's been proven they was neglectful of these kids. That's the kids was getting out early in the morning and playing around the yard, out by the road and in the backyard, in the fenced area and up in the woods in the little play area. So they got into the habit of sleeping in, and since the baby come along, Malaya got into the habit of the baby would get up and she would get up and take care of the baby, needed to quiet down, whether it was a little food or whatever it was, and then when the baby had quietened down, they would go back to bed. And I tell you, there was family members on their side that was very pissed off about that. I was told by one of the family members today that they would like me to take Daniel and beat the living shit out of him because he won't listen to them. And I just said, look, I'm getting a little too old for that thing, and to start with, it's none of my business in between the Mackenzie family, and besides that, if that happened, he could go get his uncles and then we would be into it with a whole bunch of them. And I was already into it with them years ago, and we made it through it and nobody got unalived, and we are actually friendly for the last 15 to 20 years. Cindy doesn't know about the particulars about this yet, but I'm going to tell them the same thing I'm telling you, that I'm done with this, that the kids are alive, that I'm done with this, and I'm just going to reassure them the kids are alive. Malaya already knows the kids are alive. I will tell my family. Now, don't get me wrong, the last day, I don't know if Malaya's been arrested. There was some stuff about that. that Malaya would have to be arrested because Meadow got taken away. Now I can't verify that. I don't think she was, because I know she's still on the res. But I'm going to have to talk to my family. Sure, I'm going to have to talk to Patty, Debbie and Cindy. And privately I'll tell them the same thing. I'll tell them what I know happened, and I'll tell them how it happened. But I will not tell them about this person, and I will not tell them about these two people that give me this information today, because if I do break this confidence that I learned today, right, don't forget this is a rough little place at times. And I'm a little scared of getting in over my head. So I'll tell my family, I'll tell them, listen, you guys, the kids are alive. I'm so sure of that. I'll tell you why they're alive, and I know they're listening, and I'll tell them everything I'm telling you that I told you. But I will not reveal the source of this final information to anybody. I'm sorry if you can't understand why, or you don't agree with it. The bottom line is the people I can't satisfy on this. Now, as far as this situation goes, I'm sorry, but I satisfied myself, and as far as I'm concerned, that's the most important thing to me, and I feel joy that I know these kids are alive and are being cared for. I messaged Cindy Wednesday, and I talked to her on the phone voice wise the day before yesterday, and before this we had a meeting scheduled for tonight because I needed Cindy was another one who could have supplied a name. Okay, now I'm going to tell you an interesting little thing. No, I'm not. Listen, I've got to stop this. I've got to stop this because my woman's getting ready to come through my door and blow my brains right out, because this has been so irritating to her, right? Her nerves. I don't take this, and my nerves are bad over it. If I mean, her son is calling her, for Jesus' sake, to shut me up. People around here recognise my picture when that ding put my picture up there. And I'm well known in this community. I run an excavation business for 30 years. I know a lot of people, and a lot of people know me. There's always people that don't like you. Well, it's snowballed pretty good. And like I say, I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to do. I've gone as far as I can, and I think I got second place is what I got. First place would have been bringing those kids home. Give them a goddamn bowl of ice cream and call somebody saying, hey, we got the kids, whoever's in authority here, cops, CPS, whoever in authority here, to cause sake done and get these kids. But that would have been my first, that would have been the winning line, that would have been the big one, that would have been a really good day. But I never made it, and I'm sorry I never made it, but I never made it. Now there's a good idea. Somebody in the chat just said something about Belinda and custody. Well, no, maybe that's not a good idea because of her young fella Cody. There's some question marks about him. So but Belinda, if she can get visitation of Meadow, and that Belinda, from what I've seen and heard of Belinda, she's a pretty nice woman. Well, Belinda's not the grandmother of Meadow, so I think you're a bit confused there, Dazzy boy. See, her and Malaya, before Meadow was born, Malaya used to take the kids and go visit Belinda regularly, right? So what happened, I believe, that once Meadow was born, I don't think Belinda, and this is a guess on my part, pure guess, I don't think Belinda was overly fond of Daniel. So Belinda, I don't think, felt like comfortable visiting them, or she would have. But that's only a guess on my part. That's only a guess. It is. Well, I'm sorry. I'm absolutely done now. Thank you all. You won't see me on any of this shit no more. I don't like it. I don't like it. And I don't have anything against it. Peace, peace, peace. Walk with Jesus Christ and faith, and I'll try it too. And everybody, do what you got to do. Cheerio! Right guys, that completes Darin Geddes' statement on It's Crime in Shame 20th of June statement. I have done my best because it's hard to understand some of the things he says. That's why I did it this way. Plus wanted to do something a little different to everyone else, but I was not happy doing it this way after how long part 2A took me to make. But then I had to finish what I had started and make part 2, B, C and D the same way. So hopefully my next video will be a little bit better for you. Thanks for watching. Take care. Stay safe.